Keeping Up the Conversation, an unscripted podcast. And now, here's your hosts, Tori and Big Ken. Follow Keeping Up the Conversation on Facebook at KUTC Live.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Keeping Up the Conversation. I am your host, Miss Tori, joined by my super duper co-host, Big Ken.
Oh, what's up?
What's up? I know, before we got on, I know we were talking about just the day we're having, and it's always good and it's always blessed, to just be having, some kind of day because you're here, but.
Yes.
Just before I got on the show, I was having a bad hair day, and I know we're talking how people laugh because not you, because you don't have any hair, but
That will say you talking about a bad hair day. This is continuous bad hair days.
and it totally sucks because I had to wash my hair just before I got on the show, and then I have to figure out what are you gonna do? You're gonna do what you're gonna do. And I remember on your other show, the fire session, we talked about how since the pandemic I had to wash my hair, learn how to wash my hair by myself, and it totally sucks, and I do not like it. But you know what? I'm here, and I wouldn't miss an episode.
I mean, you could be bald.
I could be.
So
You know what? And that's kind of like the thing now.
no.
For some women, it
No.
is being bald.
Let me say this. I respect all women and their choices. But some women have peanut head and they mess with these boys their whole life about their little peanut heads. And then you decide to liberate yourself and to cut your hair off and you shave it down and you got the same peanut head that you talked about these little boys all these years. So ladies, consider that. Consider the peanut head. Consider that.
But you never know the shape of your head until you cut your hair. So you just have to
if you want to know, ask your man to grab your head like this, like they used to do the little boy's head, their little palm of their head. They can feel the little knots. They can tell you. If you got
I've done that before. I've done that before with my hair, with my head, and I might have lumps. I've done that before. And so okay, I won't be going bald.
See, I got lucky. I got lucky that my mom shaked my head inside and out. So my head's all right. My head's all right. So the fact that my dad blessed me with the baldness that I have, it's okay with me because my head's not that bad. So I'm okay with it.
Here I be.
Yeah.
Anyway, I want to say happy Veterans Day. And today we salute all those who served in the United States Armed Forces. Thank you a million times over for your service.
Indeed.
Yes. So,
shout out to my pops. Shout out to my pops. Thank you for serving, brother. That's my guy. It's my best friend.
That's awesome.
He's crazy.
I don't know if I could have been in the. I think I could have been in the military. I just don't know about basic training. I don't know if I could be jumping over walls.
You've been in the military. You can't get past the beginning.
That's what I said. I don't know if if they could just let me get past the beginning and believe me when I tell them that I'm physically fit, and then just let me get past that and and just train me how to do everything else.
Yeah, let's see how that works out.
Nevertheless, we salute you.
Indeed.
All right, I gotta let's move on real quick to our hot topic for today. So I want to talk real quick about, remember the postal worker that kind of called fraud on the ballots after, I guess, like election day. But he recanted the claim that the supervisors attempted to backdate ballots mailed after election. His name is Richard Hopkins, and he's a postal service worker from Erie, Pennsylvania. And he alleged that he overheard supervisors discussing the plan to backdate mail-in ballots for election day. But when Hopkins was questioned by the federal investigators with the Postal Service Inspector General's office, He said, I was kidding. That's not, I didn't mean that. But you know what? I think it came from apparently a group called Project Veritas. I think that's what they're called. And they said they were offered $25,000 for claims of voter fraud across the country. And Hopkins jumped on that thinking he was going to get some money, and it did not work out. And the last thing I heard was he had a GoFundMe page. I went to go check it, and that GoFundMe page is down. You know me, I would check and see. And so no, it's, I think he realized when he's sitting in front of the inspectors, he's probably like, you know what, this is not even worth it. It's
Yeah, people do some strange things for money, and in these times, you never know what people are going through personally. Their personal financial situation. So people become desperate, and that's pretty risky. Anytime you say somebody's doing something on that level, especially dealing with the
mhm.
mail system, eh, that's very very risky. And you
Yeah,
better you better have all your ducks in a row, because believe me, when the government gets involved, it's serious business.
it is. And it's government and federal. It's just just not any branch that you that you want to mess with, let alone local police. But
Not at all.
just but I just think that like you said, he desperate means. And he recanted. And I want to say, I can't remember. I watched so much of the election, but I want to say that
Too much.
yeah, I did. I know I went crazy. I was election crazy. I was addicted. But I think that I don't know. I could be wrong, but I thought I saw him make a statement about the ballots and about the fraud. And but I haven't seen this person that said that since. So I'm almost certain that's who I saw. But I
You
don't
talking about
know.
Trump? You talking about
Trump.
Trump?
No one is talking about Trump right now. No
He's
one
he,
is
he
talking
he's
about
throwing a whole fit about this situation, and he's also causing his supporters to throw fits as well.
Trump.
So it's going to a whole nother level now, and this is starting to escalate.
But
So
I
this
want to ask you something real quick about Trump. Do you think that, okay, so he may not concede, but do you think that he still can leave the White House with dignity if he addressed the public and he apologized? Do you think that he can then, even if he doesn't concede, we're going to give him that. Even if he does not concede, do you think that he could still leave the White House with dignity and still maintain, um, I guess that extension to into the public? And do you think people will still respect him?
no.
No.
This man has acted the way he's acted the whole 4 years. So whatever you have deemed him as in the past 4 years, that's the lasting impression that he's gonna leave with. So one good thing that he does on the way out is not gonna change anything.
Hmm.
So, if you've been acting a fool the whole time and you say, you know what, I'm about to leave you. But as you go out the door, I'm gonna give you $500 before I leave. Is that gonna change your outlook on the whole relationship that you just messed up? Nope.
Right.
She's gonna be happy to
Yeah.
get that $500, but she's still gonna
Right.
tell you to get out.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
hey, it's just time for him to go, and he's got to realize that, the same energy that he had coming in when they were, just like, well, just realize that he won. His supporters were like, everybody's upset. Just,
Hmm.
just accept it. Well,
Right.
keep
Yeah.
that same energy. Just
Right.
accept that he lost.
Right. Yeah. And another thing that I was watching is how they say that Trump, there are a lot of things that he can do when he leaves the warehouse. I mean, the White House. You look at Barack and Michelle Obama, the things that they've done, but they're different people, and they're saying
Yeah.
that Trump could
Just
come out and he can do things, and he can still stay relevant. But here's the problem: Trump doesn't care about that. He is losing power, and I think that that's why he's pouting. I think that no matter what it is that he can do, to help, he very well may be able to do, to help or whatever when he leaves the White House. But he is upset because he doesn't have that power.
Yeah, I
So,
mean that's the biggest thing. Trump loves that power. So,
mhm,
with him being, off the radar and kind of powerless, we'll see what kind of antics that he comes up with to stay relevant. So,
yeah.
this is gonna be interesting.
And okay, wait. So one other thing, I know we weren't even supposed to be talking about Trump. One other thing that I saw before I got online was that I'm not sure if it was Twitter or who addressed this, but they said that once Trump leaves the White House and all these rants that he has on Twitter, they no longer are going to be responsible for. So if he posts anything, crazy on Twitter, then Twitter now has the right to just cut him off altogether. So
Yeah,
that's
they've done it
another power
before. So
play.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've done it before since he's been president. They've cut his access. I mean, somebody should have cut his access. Somebody should have been doing it for him at
Hmm.
least, because with him posting the stuff that he posted, and then you're gonna misspell. Like, what kind of crazy stuff is that? Like, you're the president of the United States and
Yeah.
you're misspelling
You don't
things.
have spell
Come on,
check.
bruh.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, you can't just pass your phone to the right and say, spell check that for me real quick.
Yeah, clearly he had no checks and balances in his administration, and he just does what he wants, and that kind of absolute power in this day and time cannot work. It just cannot
Clear.
work.
Yeah,
There are going to be
clearly.
mistakes made, and unfortunately for us, maybe some of those mistakes have cost people their lives, but we're not going to
Mhm.
speculate.
Nope, we're not. So, what we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about the business spotlight. That's what we're gonna do. So,
Indeed.
every week we profile a successful small business in our business spotlight, and this week we are shining the light on Esrever Wines, founded by Jasmine, Tyshemia, and Ashanti, who, by the way, are our guests today. Esrever Wines is a crisp, sparkling wine blend of Chardonnay, Chenin Blanc. So, take a quick peek of the ladies when they appeared on the Discovery Channel show I Quit.
So this is where the wine is actually made?
This is where we make it, yes.
Wow.
Ooh, it smells like cranberry. I smell like all types of food.
Melissa smell.
Hi, Melissa. Welcome to the lab. This is where I like to say all the magic happens.
Okay. It's crazy to see the process just because we remember when Esrever came to us in something like that, right?
Yeah, that's how we started, exactly.
Yeah. Just like that.
All right.
All right.
So you guys keep watching and we'll have a great business chat with the ladies of Esrever Wines. If you have a business question during the show, be sure to drop it in the comments on Facebook. To apply to have your business appear in this business spotlight, go to KUTC Live on Facebook and complete the form in our About section. So, what we're going to do is take a quick break and we'll be right back. Go get your beverage, get a quick snack, and get ready for the ladies of Esrever Wines. All right, we are back. And so, a kitchen table discussion between three best friends led our guests today to found their own wine company. And now they are here with us to discuss the good, the bad, and sometimes the ugly part of owning a business. Welcome to the show, the trio and owners of Esrever Wines, Jasmine, Tyshemia, and Ashanti from Queens, New York. Hello, Jasmine and Ashanti. We are
How you guys
missing
doing?
good. We are
Hello,
missing
hello.
somebody.
Right.
Hi, Victoria.
There
Hi,
she
Kim.
goes.
There
Hi.
she is. Hi.
Hi, everyone.
Welcome to the show, ladies. It is so good to see you guys.
Thank you very much for having us. Thank you.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
I'm
we're
glad.
excited.
I'm so glad you guys can make time for us. And so anyway, welcome to the show. So I'll jump right in. I want to say that it doesn't matter who you are. We all know the mental strength and just commitment it takes just to maintain a good and healthy friendship. But you guys started a business together. So before we really get into the show, I want to know how you guys met.
So I'll tell that story.
Okay.
First, I do want to say Happy Veterans Day. Big Ken,
Yes.
Happy Veterans Day to your dad. And really
Thank you.
quickly, y'all chemistry is so on point. I
Yeah,
love
I love it. I
Oh,
love
thank
it.
Oh,
you.
I love
Thank
it.
you.
Oh,
it.
thank you.
So really quickly, how we met was I was in private school and I came into public school in the third grade. Tyshemia and Ashanti already knew each other from kindergarten. So I was, used to the private school life. I came to public school and I was just really quiet and timid. And they thought that I got into an altercation. This is the third grade, mind you. They
Already
thought I
started
got into
rumors.
an altercation with one of their friends. Mind you, I was quiet, And so, like, literally in the third grade, they tried to jump me.
Oh
Oh
my
my. Wait,
God.
wait, wait. Hold on.
Goodness.
Wait,
wait,
wait.
wait, wait,
No.
wait, wait,
Wait,
wait.
wait, wait,
No,
wait.
no,
Wait.
no,
So,
no.
so Ashanti. Wait a minute. So Ashanti I'm pronouncing your name right, Tyshemia?
Yes, that's
Yes,
perfect.
yes.
So you guys tried to jump Jasmine?
No.
That's kind of Ashanti. No, no.
You
Ashanti,
know what,
please explain.
Jasmine? You know what, Jasmine? You have the floor. So you go ahead, you
Okay,
tell the story.
they tried to jump me, right? And this was on the schoolyard, literally in the schoolyard in third grade. They
Third
stepped to
grade.
me. They stepped to me, literally. Oh, you trying to talk about our friend? I said, I don't even know who y'all are. We in the third grade. So what I
Yo, that's
told
so
them
funny.
was,
Like,
so
hearing this
what
is
I
so
told
funny.
them was, I said, well, I'm gonna tell my brother he's in the fifth grade. They got scared.
uh, that's so
Wow.
funny.
And then
That is hilarious.
But
that's
it's
just
And
the
how
and
truth.
then
friends.
that's when it all started.
Yep.
Right.
Sometimes that's how friendship kind of starts. Almost like how when a girl, or a guy likes a girl, whatever, and the girl throws a rock at the guy, and they're like, and that's how you show someone you like them. You throw a
Right.
rock at them.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know what, Big Ken, I think depending on how hard you throw the rock, that's how much you really like them.
Yeah,
Right.
that seemed to be the running
Right.
thing in elementary for girls to beat on the guy, and then the guy's like, supposed to know that she really likes me. She
Right.
just has to redirect her energy.
Right.
Her energy is just misguided at that point.
Okay,
Yep.
But it's love.
so do you guys all still live in the same city?
No,
Ashanti and
so
I do.
6
Okay.
years ago I moved to Georgia. So I'm currently in Georgia right now.
Oh, okay. That's
Mhm.
like the wine capital, but we're not gonna talk about that right now. We're gonna slowly ease into that. All right, so we fast forward, and somehow the idea of starting a wine company came up. So give us like the short story of how you guys gave birth to this idea.
So, a lot of times, after high school, we would get together at Jasmine's mom's house or my house or whatever and talk about our goals, our aspirations. So one night we were at Jasmine's house, her mother's house, in Queens, and we were saying how we love wine. We did that. We were exposed to wine at a kind of a young age because that was the first wine that we had around or alcohol that we had around. And we were like, wow, like, like what would it take to? And this was 2011 ish. What would it take to do your own? Like, we like wine. We love the Pinot Grigios and even Moscatos, whatever. How do we do this on our own? And of course, at that time, we were too young. We didn't have the money to do it, but we did a lot of research. And we would reach out to vineyards and we would get, hanged up on and whatever. But just about 4 years ago, we started to financially support our vision with money. So now we have the knowledge, we have a little bit of money from our 9-to-5s. We put it all together, and then we were on our first shelf about 3 or 4 years ago in Queens, New York. So that's how that all happened.
Okay, so before I get really deep into the wine, I found out about you guys because I channel surf for one, because I stay up so late at night. And, I came across the show. I quit on the Discovery Channel. And so I watched the show, but I kind of found out that it wasn't all rainbows and ponytails on this show because you guys, the show was all about quitting your jobs to follow your dreams. And it showed the grind of being a business owner and partners. And for the viewers, just real quick, that haven't heard about the show, tell us a little bit about the show and your experience on being on the show.
So the show was basically about, like you said, to focus about how regular people quit their 9-to-5 jobs to be an entrepreneur. Being on the show definitely being followed is different for us. And I feel like the best part was that it was a lot of exposure, it was a lot of life lessons, and people really got to see our journey and to see that you can literally do anything.
Oh, we got stuck.
How you breaking up?
Yeah, we
Oh,
lost
sorry,
audio.
guys. That you can literally do anything that you put your mind to if you really work hard. And it shows you the good and the bad and the ugly of business. Like, some places you will get denied. Sometimes people won't want to speak to you. Sometimes your business could be shorter on cash. And sometimes, you'll be late nights and early mornings. But it also teaches you just keep going.
Right.
Were you going to say something, Ashanti?
No, I was agreeing with what Tyshemia said. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think, on watching reality shows, sometimes it can show it can show or can expose so much about you and your character, but sometimes it doesn't show who you really are. Did the show help or hurt you guys in terms of your friendship?
Well, one thing I will say is that the good thing about this show was that it wasn't a reality show; it was a docuseries.
A docuseries, okay.
It was unscripted. It was raw. They literally followed us. Whatever we did, they was just there. So there was no puppet master behind the whole filming, which was a good thing because what you guys did see was really what happened. I will say that you guys only really saw in those 8 episodes about 45% of what we really did. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So you guys didn't even really get to see like more of the positive things that we did in the wine world, the networking, the marketing, the education that we got, who we connected with, a lot of the more of the positive things. But that's TV.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
It
exactly.
is. But I like the simple fact that we was able to just show people that people who look like us, people who are our gender, people who are in our age group are in the wine world. And we're super non-traditional. We don't want to do anything by the book. We don't want to have black tablecloths at a wine event. We want to have white tablecloths. So what? If it gets a little red wine on it, you take it to the dry cleaners, keep it moving. So we wanted to show people you can break out of the norm and you can do what you want to do. So that was the good thing about the show. to spin off of what Ty said, it was hard and it did try on our relationship, but we've been friends for 27 years. Nothing is going to tear us apart.
Nothing.
You just got to see what really happens sometimes in business. And that's the reality of it. The reality is that we go through these things sometimes, and it just made us stronger.
Right. And I think that whether you're on or off the show, being three ladies and being in business, it totally can challenge you guys. And I think what's really important to me is learning, just kind of knowing, and we're going to talk about Esrever Wines, I promise. But it's just so encouraging and motivating to see three young women being friends since third grade and starting a business together. How do you guys keep that friendship cohesive? Because we all know we're women and sometimes we have some issues with each other. And
hold on before you finish that question.
I'm sorry, Big Kid. What did I do?
I want to put this in because this is kind of what you're asking, but it has something to do with the show. So before we move on from that piece, I wanted to ask, when you all were looking at the show yourselves, did you see anything that went on at the time that you didn't realize a certain way you were behaving, some words you said, or anything that you
well,
did?
Juicy question.
That is a juicy question, and it's a loaded question, and it's a thing with TV called Soundbites. I don't know if you know what Soundbites are.
Yeah.
So I can say, for example, I can't stand this cookie. So a soundbite is they'll take I can't stand, and then 3 weeks later I said, Tyshemia, you look nice. And then they'll say, I can't stand Tyshemia. Right. So it's a soundbite going on. Yo, it was so funny because we did watch the last episode together at Jasmine's beautiful apartment in Georgia, and we were just like shaking our head like, I didn't say that. When we said that? When you said that? Because it was a lot of soundbite. It's literally cut and paste. Like, that's what soundbites do. They cut and paste. So we was like that. And then the beauty of it is, we get to laugh about it. Like, yo, that's mad funny. Like, we just laughed about it. So that's really what it is. A lot of it.
So, okay, Ashanti. So, and I'm not going to even harp on this, but I do want to say this. So when I was watching the show, is it true that you guys got into it over the thermostat? The one was hot and one was cold. Is that true?
Yes and no. So
no. Yeah, yes and no. Yes and no.
Yes and no. And I say yes and no. And like Ashanti said, the good thing about the good and the bad about this is, and I love this, is because it is it's a docuseries 1, 2 reality TV, and 3 copy and paste. The soundbite. Excuse me, it's a bitch. Excuse my word.
There was
because
a soundbite
sitting there and I'm like, wait, if we didn't, the best part about working with your friends is like, wait a minute. Wait.
Listen, there was a soundbite where
how we argue.
I was like, Ty, remember I was like, I'm cold. And then Ty said, good. But that was not together. Remember that? I was like, no, I'm cold. And then Ty's voice came out of nowhere and said, good. Like, we was like, that's good. It was so funny because that good didn't even happen when I said I was cold. So it was like,
hold on, y'all. So funny. Let me say this real quick. I think this goes for any relationship, whether it's with your parents, whether it's with your husband, your wife, your spouse, your best friend, any relationship. When you get to a point where you have a disagreement, an altercation, or argument, it's never really about what it's about. It's always stuff that kind of like builds up over time. So if you sit down with your wife and you're like, can you pass me the remote? Oh, you're not gonna say please? See, that's but and then that just gives a segue into other things that have been built up. So that's what it really was about, just built up stuff. But the heat, because it was hot as hell, let me tell you.
It was hot.
It was just the segue. It was the segue.
Yeah.
But that soundbite is real. I promise y'all, Ken. I That
No,
soundbite is real.
no, it's ridiculous.
And
Like when
that's
we
what I kind of
watched,
figured. That's why I asked. That's why I kind of
Yeah.
figured. You know, I've heard
Yeah.
that
no,
from
it,
a couple other
It's
people
so
who've been on
funny.
shows. So yeah, they do that. So I kind of figured that.
Okay, well,
and the
I just wanted to be certain because hey, that's what was in the show. But I'm like, that can't be. But then, of course, at the end, or I remember it's been a while since I watched it. Of course, there was an end where I think Ashanti said, "Well, yeah, we have been drinking too."
Right, but see, they
so
didn't
this
put
is
while we were drinking.
wait,
So, right, Ty, go
they
ahead. Why were we drinking?
so this is the part that kills me, and TV is crazy. So they didn't show Ashanti's birthday was literally 3 days before we left. So the whole time, like if you really watch the episode, you don't see me because behind the scenes while they're doing events, I'm literally running around New Orleans trying to find a cake, a restaurant,
Oh
places to wrap her
wow!
gifts. Like they're not showing that. And that's why we
Oh
were drinking.
wow!
We weren't eating, and they even skipped her dinner. Like we got a
Oh
restaurant, we sat
wow!
down and we had dinner. We weren't partying that night. Like it was our first night
They
there.
filmed all
We
of that, and they
actually
filmed all
wanted
of it.
to, yeah, they actually wanted to, we actually wanted to do her dinner the second night of the last night of the festival because it was a Saturday.
Mhm.
So they said they asked us to push it back. We pushed it back to that Friday. And we didn't even drink that much. We literally had one or two drinks. I don't even think that because we were all tired. So
Mhm.
that she
Right.
was like, we were drinking that line, and I remember this is funny, but she was said that what Ashanti exactly said, we were standing on the corner outside, actually was, it's not like we were drinking normally, but we were drinking. That's literally the sentence that she said.
Right.
We
Right.
weren't
Yeah.
But then it was a
partying,
soundbite. So
and
now we all know what
yeah,
soundbites are. It's
Right.
a soundbite.
Yeah, because
Crazy.
according to them, they made it seem like you guys were just tore up. So
oh
yeah,
Nah, it was my
yeah.
birthday.
no,
So I'm gonna tell y'all, it was my birthday. We went out to dinner. We exchanged gifts. Jasmine, Tom, my wife, they bought me nice gifts. They said a nice, beautiful speech. We love Ashanti because X, Y, Z. They filmed all of it and left all of it out. They filmed the entire thing. So we were
that's
kind of
why we were
upset. Like that
dressed
just made
up.
us look like a bunch of drunk bitches on Bourbon Street. Like for no reason. Like for no reason, we were just drunk. You know what I'm saying?
But
It's just
yeah,
like it's TV. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
but
So
exactly. It's just like you said, Ashanti. It's TV, and on TV, drama sells. So
Mhm.
that
Yes,
absolutely.
that's what that was. So
We don't
um,
regret it. I don't regret the
yeah.
experience at all. I had a good
no,
time. We got a lot of exposure from it, and it works. It's fun. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? We're still best friends. We're still here. So it
Mhm.
was fun. It was very fun.
That's So now, before starting the wine company, I know that Shanti, I think you mentioned that you guys had kind of researched and done everything. Was that part of like what gave you guys the push to kind of start the wine company, or uh, you know, was it like how kind of girls kind of hanging around? Ooh, I like this flavor and this strawberry. This is what we're gonna do. This feels good to my palate, so let's just do this, or did you guys actually like sit down and come up? This is the flavor. This is that. You know.
Right. So our original blend is a Pinot Grigio Moscato blend. So we
Mhm.
took two wines that we really like, which is a Pinot Grigio and a Moscato, one dry, one sweet, and we combined the two. We married the two, right? That was our original blend, which we will bring back hopefully at some point next year. Um, and we want it to be different. It's not many wines that are blended with two odd grapes like that.
Mhm.
So we did it, and it was a hit. That's what we had for the first like year or so of our business. Now we're producing a Chenin Blanc and Chardonnay blend, and again we're sticking to the theme of blended grapes, like different grapes but together. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So that's pretty much it. We wanted something different. You know what I'm saying? And we got
Okay.
it. We did it.
So this is for you ladies. So this is kind of a two-part question. I want to know how you came up with the name Esrever Wines, and then also in 2000. So you guys started the company in 2011, but you didn't bottle the first wine until 2018. I kind of want to know why there was such a long pause in between the from starting to bottling your first wine. So first, I guess tell me how you guys came up with Esrever Wine, the name Esrever Wines.
Well,
So, oh, you want to do Jazz? Go ahead.
do the first part. I'll answer the second question.
Okay, so at the time we were at the kitchen table, I was taking a class in college, and I was in business class, and we were going over literally at that very moment in school how to come up with names and concepts for your business. I was in business school, so my professor would always say, do wordplay, flip words around. If the word is cannery and it's supposed to start with a C, use the letter K. Like, use wordplay, flip them around, whatever. So we came up, we must have wrote down 50, 60 names. We didn't sit right. So I took the word reverse and I reversed it. And when we
Oh,
sounded
okay.
it out, right, when we sounded it out, it had a nice little cute ring to it. And we all agreed, like, yo, that's it. The word Esrever is the word reverse. And we
Oh,
stuck with it.
okay. Very
Right.
creative.
Oh,
Very
Thank
creative.
you. Hmm.
And then that also plays into the fact that when we always got together at my mother's kitchen table, by the time Sunday hit, we were ready to reverse back to the weekend. We wanted to
Right.
go back to Friday. We didn't want to go to work, go to school. We wanted to reverse. So it just kind of like played together perfectly with a name.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So,
And
oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. No, go ahead. Finish. We want to know.
to answer the second question, the reason why it took us so long, Miss Tori, was because we don't come from a family of business owners, of really like innovators. Our people before us was just like, go to work, get a job, get a good 9 to 5, get a good city job, go to school. You know, my mother, she definitely embedded in me, do better than me, own something, get your own business, do something. So those words were embedded in us, but the blueprint of how to do it, we had
Right.
no idea. So being like from conception, when Esrever started in 2011, we was like, okay, we're entrepreneurs at heart. 9 to 5s never sat well with us. I've had a plethora of jobs because I would just be so quick to get another job or start a business. I would be ready to quit this job. I'm just ready to advance. So when the opportunity presented itself for us to start a wine beverage, okay, we had this great idea, but what do we do next?
Right.
And with no knowledge, with no capital, with no education, nothing about the wine world, the only thing we knew about the wine world was drinking wine. That was it.
Yep.
Right.
Well, we
And
knew.
to piggyback on that real quick, Jazz, we were in 2011, we were in our young 20 something. So this right here is not a cheap project. So
No.
anybody in their young 20s, unless you have a inheritance or somebody giving you or investing in you, it's a very difficult task. So that also delayed our process because this is a difficult task to do. It's not cheap. And young 20-year-olds, my nieces are 20. I can't see them doing no wine beverage right now or anything like that. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So, it took it took a lot of saving and sacrificing for
Mhm.
these years to finally have enough in a stack to say, okay, we're ready. Boom,
Mhm.
drop. And that's what we did. We sacrificed a lot.
Oh yeah, and just to kind of, I know that I'm a business owner, and I know that there is the sacrifice, there is a financial responsibility, and then it's almost like you do something and it's not right, you scratch, you do it over, and every time you scratch something, that costs you money. And
Mhm.
so
Yes.
I totally understand, and I really respect you ladies for just hanging
Thank
in
you very
and
much.
move, yeah, and just moving forward with that. Now, as business owners, we have to delegate certain responsibilities to the partners. So, who's responsible for what in Esrever Wines?
So the way that it breaks down, so Ashanti, we basically chose what everyone's good at. Like, you know your strengths, you know your weaknesses. Like, Ashanti's good with people. You can't, I don't care what anyone tells. She can literally sell water to the ocean. Like, the ocean is full. Like, she can get you to buy
For real.
it. So, like, literally. So that's what she's good at. She's good with people. She's good with sales. She's a very genuine person. She pulls the room to her. She draws a room. So that's why she's our
I love
CEO.
that. You
She's
sound
great
like
about
me,
it.
Ashanti. You sound like me because I reel people in.
Hey, hey.
Jazz is
My
great with
oh, me.
Jazz is great with numbers, accounts, and marketing, and that's why she is our chief financial officer. Me, on the other hand, I'm good with like marketing material and branding and setups and things like that. So that's what I do. But also, Even though we have those titles, we always jump in when it's needed. It's like, hey, what else needs to be done? What's left on the table that needs to be picked up? And I think that's the best part about us, because I like the simple fact that if something needs to be done, it feels better to know that my co-owner, who's also my friend, is like, hey, Ty, you're great at this. Can you tackle this task? So I guess that's really what it is. We just took our strengths and ran with it.
Yeah, I think that, and the fact that you ladies have different titles that you hold, one important thing that I've always learned about business is that, you want to learn all aspects of the business. You want to be able to get your hands dirty, so if Ashanti is traveling and selling the wine in Africa, then Jasmine can come in and say, you know what, I'll do what she does. So, that's, the fact that you guys have that dynamic, and
We
I
call
know
it a
you do this.
trifecta.
Yeah, the
The
trifecta. So I know,
trifecta, right?
yeah, like, so that you guys all have that. It doesn't matter who's out, the business still runs and it still gets done. So kudos to you guys. So
Thank you.
what flavors of wine do you guys currently have like on the market right now?
We
So
currently
right now, oh,
have,
go ahead, Jazz. I'm sorry.
we
Go ahead, Jazz.
currently have a Chenin Blanc and Chardonnay blend, which is our sparkling wine. And then we also have a Moscato out, which has a hint of orange zest. So it's not your traditional super, super sweet, sugary Moscato. It's very smooth and silky at the end. So it has that nice, smooth finish and like a small little hint of orange zest. So that's what we
Ooh,
currently have out right now.
What
okay.
makes us different too is that most Moscatos, most sparkling wines, the alcohol volume is between 6 and 8%. Ours is 11.5%,
Oh
because
wow.
we don't want you to feel like you're drinking juice. We
Right.
Right,
want you
right.
to
Yeah.
feel something. So we did that
Real
purposefully,
nice.
right?
Hmm.
So what goes into, so you guys, I know we showed a clip of you guys um going to, I believe, the winery and doing and getting the wine all started. So what goes in, like, into making your wine? Do you guys get to go and you guys stomp the grapes and do all that, and
That's
do you guys get
also
to do all
old.
that?
It's so funny how people still
No.
ask me or ask. I don't know about y'all, Jazz and Tyler. People always say, "So y'all take off y'all shoes and socks and stomp on grapes."
Yeah,
That's
Yeah,
so
people do
old.
ask me
Like,
no,
that. People,
that's
like
like the fun part of it. That still
I
exists,
guess that's
I
if you
had
have it
to,
in your
it
backyard.
does,
yeah.
but it does, but that is not what goes into the process of Esrever. And God does
No.
not have a foot fetish.
So
No, there's a lot
Well,
of
it's a lot
machinery.
of it's
wine
a
is
lot of
produced
tasting.
on a big scale. It's produced on a big scale. So
Uh-huh.
for so many people
Huge.
to be stomping on grapes, you know how long it would take to turn
Right.
into a
Right. That's
bottle?
old
It
That's
would
school.
take a
that's
long
the
time.
essence. It's the
That's if you
essence.
have a vineyard in your backyard. Like if I have a
Right.
backyard vineyard, then I'll be stomping grapes, I guess. But even then,
Oh,
I'll probably get a machine.
let me tell
But
them,
when
y'all
we
stop stomping them grapes. I got a
right,
vineyard in my backyard.
oh snap, I need to try some of your stuff. But no, we try to make trips to California. We do a lot of tastings. We control the gluten and the sugars, the glycerin, and all of the stuff that goes inside. We taste a lot. Hopefully, at some point in our career, we can afford to purchase a plot of land to grow our own grapes and do all of that good
Ooh,
stuff
that would
from
be
jump.
nice.
But right, that would. But right now, we're paired up with a bunch of vineyards that are happy to work with us throughout California,
Mhm.
that help us produce what we produce, and it's a good process. It's dope.
What's the hardest part, or what's the most challenging part of being owners of a wine company?
Just trying to garner that respect and get our foot in. It's still a white male dominated industry.
Yes.
So a lot of the black owned. I'm sorry with the noise. A
That's
lot
okay.
of the black owned wines. We run in the same circles. We all know each other, because there's so much room for us together to grow.
Mhm.
So we're just trying to earn our respect and earn our acknowledgement and just be prevalent in this industry. So that's
I
probably what
remember
it is.
that there was one point years ago that I thought, I'm gonna pair up and I'm gonna start a wine company. First of all, the reason why it didn't work, one, is because I'm a big marketing head and I'm not a drinker, so that wouldn't have worked. definitely would not have worked have worked for me because I wouldn't be able to drink the wine. And I think the other part of it is just kind of understanding how it all works. And I was like totally afraid to jump in because I'm like, I don't even understand how this works, and I'm not a big drinker. And this is going to be such a crazy question, but I'm sure one of you guys can answer. Can someone get into the wine business if they are not a big drinker?
Absolutely, yeah.
You
Absolutely.
you could
Yeah.
invest in it. You definitely can invest in it.
Oh,
It will
that's an
just be a
idea.
little different because someone would have to tell you. I think when it comes to describing it, you can always describe your product, but
Right.
the passion will be a little bit different because you actually don't know what it tastes like.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
And let's not forget there's a team. You can build a
Right.
team. So you may be like really proficient in one aspect of the wine business. You may know everything more than a sommelier knows, but you just
Mhm.
don't really drink wine. You're not a drinker. That's where a
Mhm.
partner or somebody can come in, a teammate or something, where they can be that part of it because you do need to taste the wine. You do need to know like what people's palates are, different age groups, different demographics and things. So you do need to know as far as like palate wise what you're going to be selling. So that
Right.
you can
That
bring
makes sense.
somebody
Oh,
in.
I
So
to
yeah,
to also piggyback on that, Jazz, and what you asked earlier. One of our most challenging things was the paperwork and the red tape we had to cut through to get through this industry. That shit,
Really?
I'm sorry for cursing, but
Oh no, this is
I
an
mean,
adult
it
show.
was a lot of trials and tribulations with that. Like the legalities, the red tapes, the clearances, the permits. It was just like, it's almost like the United States don't even want you to do this.
Wow.
So it's a lot. So once you learn about that, the legal, law part of it, and all of that, you're almost as good as golden. That's a big challenge in itself. Before you get your product, the bottle design, before all of that, you got to be legal. So
Mhm.
that part drove us nuts. You understand what I'm
Oh
saying?
you
So
wow.
know why? The reason
right,
why it drove us nuts is because it's not mapped out. If you go on Google and say, or Siri, hey Siri, how do I boil an egg? It tells you a couple of steps exactly what to do to boil an egg, right?
right, right,
At this, they literally make it difficult. You can type in verbatim, what license do I need in the state of New York to become, oh my God, they'll send you over here, over here. It's not, like, it's really,
Oh.
right. It was just like, it was crazy. It was
yeah.
crazy. Oh wow,
Oh
it was
wow. So,
crazy.
And that's what I was
so
going to ask you
oh, go
too.
ahead.
With the processes, and that's the first thing I thought about is the many different processes that you probably have to go through to get everything set up. Has anybody ever approached you about mentoring them, or
Oh, of course. So like, I'll talk about it. We
Mhm.
are just launching now our mentorship program called Esrever Gives. And
okay?
Esrever gives empowerment, encouragement, and education. We want to help people behind us. The next set of three young black girls that want to start a liquor brand, a wine brand, or any business for that matter, we don't want it to be so difficult. It was very difficult, a lot of crying nights and frustrating brick
Oh, I
walls
bet.
we had to hit. So we want to be a roadmap. Now we're not going to sit here and give you all of the whole road. We're not doing that
No, you got
because
to put
we
in the
feel like
legwork.
you got to put in some work.
Mhm.
But if we could make it just a bit easier for someone to give them some basic knowledge and information and encouragement, we are going to do that. Ezra gives also not only do mentorship, but we do volunteer work for the community. So we'll give out food for Thanksgiving, which is what we're doing at a restaurant. It's giving out food for Thanksgiving,
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
speaking at schools and stuff like that. So we want to just encourage all around. So we're kicking that off before the year ends.
I
Ezra
think
gives.
I think
That's
that
dope.
Ezra Veer Gives is definitely very, very positive because I know in business one thing that helped me a lot was having mentors. And
Yes,
sometimes all you need is exactly what you said. You just need a little bit of direction.
a
And the
little
fact
bit,
that
right?
yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. And the fact that Esrever Wines has Esrever Gives, that's extremely positive because there people are going to have questions. And like you said, no one is asking for you to just, take me and just show me everything. If you could just
Right,
show someone just a little bit and then they can, they may get stuck at one point and you can show them how to get through that point. So I
Right.
think that's a beautiful thing. So again, I commend you ladies for that.
Thank you.
One of the things that I want to say, which is obvious for a lot of business owners, is how is Esrever Wines doing with the pandemic in play for a lot of businesses?
Well, it helped and hurt us at the same exact time. So, real quick, in a nutshell, helped in a way with the whole Black Lives Matter and pandemic. Everybody was looking for all black everything. So we were
Mhm.
showing up in blogs and stuff that we never even knew existed because we were just kind of being surfaced everywhere as young black women that own a wine brand, and it helped us a lot. So in that sense, it did well for us. The downside is that California is suffering really bad with COVID
Oh wow.
19, and not
Yes.
only
Yeah.
COVID 19, but with the fires, the forest fires they're dealing with. So
Mhm.
at one point, our vineyard kind of closed for like almost a month, and that hurt our
Oh
business.
wow.
And it was
Yeah.
nothing that they could do. It was all governmental, like shutdowns in California, which kind of stopped our business or halted our business. And we're still kind of feeling the effect of that today because they're now scrambling to get their work done still.
They're on
So
a
we have to have a
skeleton.
lot of patience, and we have to now relay these, messages to our clients, and it's a mess. It is a mess.
Oh
But we're
wow.
still grateful that they are up and running, and we still are moving, but like at a slug. But they're working, so it's a domino effect on everyone.
N-
Yeah.
Um, now, is Elsevier Wines distributed locally, or it can be purchased worldwide?
You can
How is
purchase
that?
it on, so you can, right now, you can purchase it on our website, esrewines.com. There's also, we do distribute, we do ship. We're trying to get up and running for out of the country. One of our biggest locations we have right now is Bermuda. You can also go to Cocoa Key Reefs in Bermuda and have Esrevere. But as for shipping, right now, it's only within about 32 states.
Okay.
Right.
Also, you can also buy directly from locations, of course, in New York City and Brooklyn and Queens, as well as Delaware, Pennsylvania, and we are also available in
California.
California.
And then
Mm,
Oh,
starting in December, will be available in New Jersey. So we just locked
Yeah.
down distribution for New Jersey. So that's when
awesome. That is totally awesome.
Mhm.
I'm gonna let you guys go in a minute. I promise. I promise. As friends and business owners and all of this together, what advice would you give to friends that may be thinking of going into business together?
Be honest,
uh,
Cool.
right. Be honest.
communicate,
Hmm.
communicate, and separate your friendship from the business part. Because at the end, after your business meeting, that person that you just had a disagreement about something simple like you don't like a label, that's still your friend. More importantly, if
Right.
they're friends the way that we're friends, they're really family. And learn how to respect someone's feelings and their opinion and communicate what's best for them so that they can be
Right.
receptive. And just
Mhm.
like I said, turn off the business. Like, hey, business meeting is over at 5 o'clock. Are we still going to the mall? Are we still going to get dinner? Like, don't
Right.
hoard those emotions.
Oh,
Mhm.
that's yeah.
Right.
That's a
Be ready for
plus.
trials. You are going to have disagreements and trials and tribulations, but like Tashimi said, push forward, push through it, because the three of us, and we sit down and we talk about we been through so much together, right? And one thing we want to do together before we die is celebrate life in abundance together.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
that's the end result. So whatever beef we have or whatever, the end result is to be rich together, wealthy, take care of our family together, and live a nice life before we pass away. That's the end result. So nothing is gonna block that, and we got to do what we got to do. I'll fight with you today and give you tomorrow, and then the next day, we back on. You understand what I'm saying? So that's just what it is. You
And
understand?
I
Jasmine, you
love
got anything to add?
my advice is number one is to listen. Listen to your partner, right? Everybody has an opinion, everybody has a voice. Just listen to what the person has to say. And at the end, you can agree to disagree. But like what Ty said, respect is key. I don't
Right.
have
yeah.
to like what you're saying. I don't have to love what you're saying. I could be upset with you, but I have to always show you respect, and I have to listen to you. We have to listen to one another, and we have to
Right.
come together, and we have to find a middle ground. You
Right.
know, and then after that, like what Ashanti just said, let's figure out how to move on. We're not going to stay here because the business is not going to grow. We're not going to make any money. We're not going to be successful, and we can't show everybody behind us how to be successful. So how do we
Right.
go on from here? So that's
I
the main thing.
I love it. And from one business owner to three business owner, I just want you guys to know that I understand the grind and I respect your hustle and I truly appreciate you guys for sharing your journey with us. And I wish
Thank
you guys
Thank you.
so much
you.
Thank you so
continue.
much.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
yeah. To learn more about how you can get your hands on a bottle of Esrever wines, visit EsreverWines.com. Mwah! Thank you, ladies, so much. I
Thank
really
you
appreciate
Bye.
so
it.
much.
Thank
And much
Yes,
you.
success to
Thank
your
you
show.
all.
You guys are awesome.
thank you
Invite us
so
back
much.
anytime.
We'll be
Anytime,
Yes,
invite
we
us.
tuning in.
will. Don't extend
Thank you
me the
so much.
invitation because I will.
Yes, she will.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Thank
guys.
you. Bye.
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 That was totally awesome. Those ladies are phenomenal.
Hey,
And I just
hey.
love their grind and their hustle and especially their cohesive friendship.
Yeah, that's
Great.
what I was gonna say. With their chemistry, with the business piece of it, and their friendship, and how they navigate. Even if you look at how they were answering the questions,
Hmm.
how it went to here, it went to here. Like everybody kind of, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it.
Yeah.
It's a dope concept. The reverse, like everything in the interview, like it was amazing. So
Yeah,
people
yeah, it
people can't make
was.
excuses because these young ladies have made it happen.
Hmm. Yeah, and I totally respect them and I would love to have them back on the show, to give some time and see, especially, after COVID and see how these ladies have been able to because it seems like they've sort of been able to pivot with COVID and now see how they've been able to pivot once all the wineries come back up and they're able to move forward. I will definitely like to see how they're doing and then how they're doing in Bermuda and then New Jersey. So it's just, they are in a business where it's a lot of competition, but they are keeping their head above water
Yeah.
and they are three black women doing phenomenal things in
And
the
just like we
wine
talked about
industry.
before, they're doing something different. We
Yeah.
talked about this yesterday.
Yeah.
They're
Doing
doing
stuff. Yeah.
something different.
Right.
So that's what's gonna make them stand out the most. And I can't wait to see them nationwide and
I
international as well.
know.
It's coming.
The, you know what? It's like, I don't drink, but I definitely, yeah, I know. I definitely cheers to them. And I hope that one day, I'm able to go to one of their events and just have a little smidget of Esrever wines. just a tiny, tiny, tiny.
Yeah.
It's been a great show.
Damn.
I enjoy talking to them. So anyway, guys, tune in next week's show. Our guest will be Danae Dominique. She is the founder of It's a Mood Hair Boutique in Los Angeles, California, and we'll discuss, among other things, wigs. We'll talk about how do men how do men feel about women wearing wigs, but now men, they've kind of got in on the fad too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, what do you call it? The men wearing the little
I don't
thing.
know, but I've seen too many videos of dudes getting whole high top fades. I saw a dude get he got whole braids. He got dreads. I seen people
Yeah,
get a whole beard unit. I'm like,
yes, I've seen that. We
it's
need to
popping.
get a guy that has a weave. So if you're watching and you get a weave or a man weave, whatever it is, if you're watching and
Oh
you get
man.
that, you know what? You need to get in contact with us. We need to have you on the show.
Yeah.
Yes. So if you'd like to have your business featured on the KUTC Business Spotlight, send a message to Facebook, send a message to us on Facebook at KUTC Live. And remember, you can watch KUTC Live right here on Facebook every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central Time. Or if you missed the show, you can click the link in the KUTC Live Facebook page or visit blacklineentertainment.com. So every week, I like to end the show with a positive quote. And this this week's quote is from former NBA coach Phil Jackson. The strength of the team is each individual member. The strength of each member is the team. Can I read that again? Because
Yeah.
I want to do better. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Say
this
it
week's
again.
I'm gonna say it again. Okay, so this week, this week's quote is from former NBA coach Phil Jackson,
Phil Jackson.
and the strength of the team is each individual member. The strength of each member is the team. Until next time.
Make sure you keep up the conversation.
All right.
Follow Keeping Up the Conversation on Facebook at KUTC Live.